Hi, and welcome to another edition of the Rice Report, an opportunity for you to find out what's happening in my office, your office, here in Rockville. I wanted to let you know that I'm very happy to report that I had the honor of being elected as the new Council Vice President for the Montgomery County Council for this upcoming year.
I would like then to call for a vote for Ms. Councilmember Craig Rice to be our new Vice President. All those in favor? It's unanimous. Congratulations.
And this is a tremendous honor, and I'm looking forward to supporting our new Council President, Nancy Navarro. She laid out a very bold and aggressive agenda that highlights talking about economic development.
I have heard for too long that Montgomery County is not open for business. Today I want to be absolutely clear. Montgomery County is one of the best places in America to grow a business of any size.
And also making sure that we're supporting our immigrant population and the diversity that's here in Montgomery County. And I look forward to helping her with that agenda to make sure that people know that we are going to focus on jobs and equality and making sure that we can make Montgomery County one of the best places in the nation to live. You know, recently you had heard me talk about the pedestrian safety initiatives that we've put forward after the untimely death of Christina Morris Ward on Halloween. It's extremely important for us to make sure that we're sending out a message to all of our constituents, both those that are driving as well as those that are walking, to be aware of your surroundings. But also, more importantly, we're looking at doing everything we can from an engineering standpoint to make sure that all of our intersections and roads are safe. It is always unfortunate when we lose someone to one of these untimely incidents. But at the same time, we use it as a learning experience to make sure that we can help everyone so that we can try and make those kinds of changes that are necessary to ensure that this doesn't happen again. We had a vigil that was there at Seneca Valley High School, and we also had a follow-up meeting with the community at Seneca Valley to where we talked about some of the things that we can do to ensure that this kind of event doesn't happen again. And so I want to let you know that we remain committed to making changes. We're going to be putting out public safety messages. You might have seen them already on buses to where we're highlighting about eyes on you and making sure that as you're crossing the road that you look and establish eye contact with drivers as you're crossing through the crosswalks. But it's really just important for us to be aware of our surroundings. We recently had a council town hall meeting in Potomac.
We're in Potomac, Maryland this evening, where residents have gathered with questions for the council members.
Where we talked about a myriad of issues, but a lot of them surrounding Brickyard and the proposed soccer field.
Pertaining to the Brickyard Road school site, put it back on the table, and also identifying alternate sites for soccer fields.
And I think that while we have some of the decisions are going to be based on what's happening in our court system, I think that overall we had a great meeting that gave us some insight into some of the things that are really important to the Potomac community, including traffic safety as well as economic development opportunities. And so I look forward to working with Roger Berliner that represents the area of Potomac and making sure that we can deliver on all of those things that are important to that Potomac community. Now recently, we had an Up-County Citizens Advisory Board meeting that was held in conjunction with our planning department regarding the limited master plan amendment for Clarksburg. And I can tell you right now that we had a great turnout for this meeting, and of course we always want to see more people come out. There will be additional meetings that will take place both in February and March of 2013. And I encourage people to continue to be involved in this process. The only way that we can truly deliver on a vision for Clarksburg is to make sure that everybody in the community is involved. And I remain committed to making sure that we're delivering on the Clarksburg that was promised to my Clarksburg constituents. This Thanksgiving, we had the opportunity to volunteer at a number of events. We volunteered at Food and Friends in DC that delivers meals to folks that are suffering from terminal illness and severe illnesses. And we also were able to volunteer at the Fillmore on Thanksgiving Day to serve food to the homeless. So while we understand that we have a problem here in Montgomery County we also want to make sure that we're able to try and address the situation and give some of these folks that are on the street the opportunity to make a better life for themselves, to get off of the streets and be able to have a job, to be able to have a warm meal, and be able to have a place to stay. Now, on November 29th, we held a budget stakeholder meeting with a number of our stakeholders throughout the county, including our unions as well as community leaders. And we talked about what the impact of our impending budget would be if we went above the maintenance of effort, and also whether or not we were able to cut or add to some of our other budgets for our various departments. And throughout this, we understood that there's a tremendous challenge and pressure that lies ahead if we decide to exceed a certain amount of percentage above the budget for any of these particular groups. There are going to be difficult decisions ahead as we just start to see ourselves coming out of the recession. But I remain committed to you to make sure that we are focusing on the priorities that are important to Montgomery County to keep Montgomery County as the forefront in this region. To that end, we just had a meeting with our Senator Ben Cardin, and we had a great meeting with him to talk about some of the things that are important when it comes to federal support for many of Montgomery County's initiatives. I was able to ask the Senator two questions, one centered around the support for education funding.
It's going to be imperative for the federal government to support education more so than they ever have before.
And the other around a potential economic development opportunity in recruiting the FBI to come here to Montgomery County.
And so for us, we're now looking at the FBI and, hopeful that something like that, there are a lot of areas that we've been able to identify that might work well. And so we would certainly appreciate your support.
And I was very pleased to hear from the Senator that he was supportive of additional education dollars coming to make sure that we remain competitive, not only here in the region, but globally as well. And as regarding FBI, the Senator was open to understanding that Montgomery County remains a place to do business and that we are open for business when it comes to recruiting various departments, federal agencies, and other corporate initiatives. It's going to be extremely important for us over these next few years to make sure that folks understand Montgomery County is a great place to do business and a great place to live as well. In Annapolis, we've been talking about one of our focuses, which is transportation funding. And we had a transportation funding summit to talk a little bit about the different various ways in which we could support transportation. I've had a number of conversations with staff with the governor's office surrounding this issue, and I think that we all remain committed as a region to understanding that transportation funding is extremely important if we are to truly get ourselves to the next level of competitiveness in this area. I have to thank Councilmember George Leventhal, Roger Berliner, Hans Riemer, and Mark Elrich for their support in this initiative. I think it was a great opportunity for us to partner with other jurisdictions in the region to stress to our stakeholders in Annapolis that this is something that we're looking for assistance in this upcoming budget season. And so as the representative serving with the Maryland Association of Counties, I'm going to be committed over this next upcoming year in Annapolis to focus on making sure that we can bring back additional transportation dollars, not only to support Montgomery County, but also for our various municipalities that are looking for highway user revenue dollars as well. We have a number of upcoming meetings that are going to be extremely important as we move forward in our budget cycle. We have our Germantown community meeting that will be taking place on January 28th in Germantown. And note that the council will be back in session on January 15th. I look forward to hearing from you throughout that time frame that we're out on recess. We remain focused over this next year between Council President Navarro and myself to make sure that your voice is always heard and a part of our solution. We cannot do this alone. This is a team effort. We need to work together to make sure that we are, again, putting Montgomery County as the forefront in this region. We remain committed to listening to all of the ideas that you have and incorporating those as we move forward. Because we are, as Nancy Navarro said, one Montgomery, and I look forward to working with you to make sure that that is the case. As always, feel free to contact my office at your convenience. You can always reach us at 240-777-7955. You can also reach out to us on Facebook, Councilmember Craig Rice, or on Twitter, Rice Politics. Again, I want to thank you for tuning in to another edition of the Rice Report. God bless and happy holidays.